Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we're getting good reconnaissance on the age of Aquarius into which we advance. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations, and I'm going to do more of it today. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is March 2nd, 2026. And here's the program I have lined up for you today. We're going to start off with 5 tarot cards for fun. We're going to throw 5 cards down, and I'm quite sure that the tarot world is planning an inspirational and fun message for all of us who are tuning in whenever you're tuning in. This message will be for you, the viewer. After that, I'm going to discuss languages, including the off-world language of German, which is tantamount to the off-world language of English. But not to worry, everybody. Off-world telepathy is a thing. If you're tuned into STARCARD Podcast, you got a little telepathy thing going on, don't you? All right. And then finally, after all that, it'll be time for tarot for the audience. Oh, wait, I have visual aids, everybody. So we're going to talk about our awareness of space Germans. You might want to see yesterday's program if you're curious about that. We might be interested in hearing from the tarot world about how space Germans regard us. We'll hear from the tarot world about that. Of course, my goal is reunification and integration with all these breakaway civilizations. So we'll hear from the tarot world on that. I'm sure the tarot world will deliver wonderful tips on these 3 subjects. And then again, once we've received those messages, it'll be time for tarot for the audience. Let me set these aside. I have some other things to share before I get to my language lesson and everything else. But in the meantime, let's get started right away. There's 5 cards for fun waiting for us. I have the Lost Soul deck on hand, ready to go. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right, in honor of my presentation today having to do with speaking German to off-world Germans, I happen to have the Mr. Breakaway bookmark picture from when I was 19 years old. Check out that haircut. That's in Bavaria. All right, so we're going to leave that out today. Meanwhile, I've got the Lost Soul deck. We're going to get it on with the Lost Soul deck. We're going to throw 5 cards for fun. Here we go. All right, tarot world. I'm not going to call you a ham, tarot world, but I know you like it when the camera's on. So I invite you to strut your stuff and show us what you got. How about 5 cards for fun for everybody tuning in whenever they're tuning in? Thank you, tarot world. Okay, here comes our message. 5 cards for fun. Hey, everybody. I invite you to say thank you in your mind right now. Thank you in advance, tarot world. Here we go. 5 cards for fun. Gratitude is the parent of all virtues. I like how we have a lot of virtuous people tuning in to STARCARD Podcast. They have a lot of integrity. Here we go. 5 cards for fun, everybody. Let's see what happens. First up, it's the 9 of Pentacles, enjoying the fruits of our labor, our time together. The 2 of Pentacles, where Breakaway Ray presents 2 different realities, 2 different worlds. The one we know and the one that's broken away. Speaking of world, how about the World card? Well, the World card also indicates completion. All right, so we're done with pretending there are no breakaway civilizations. I like how that orb in the sky looks like the orbs I see on my hikes in the morning. And I know that I've posted a couple of pictures as thumbnail photos to videos starring orbs. We are having fun, by the way. Here's the 9 of Wands. We gained a lot of experience being isolated, having to turn inward and work things out amongst ourselves, while the rest of the galaxy looked on and still looks on. And finally, everybody, it's the Wheel of Fortune. You know, the Wheel of Fortune talks about good luck and bad luck. But maybe this also reminds you of mandalas and the Kali Yugas and the 36,000-year orbit of the planet Nibiru in and out of our part of the solar system. The Wheel of Fortune also talks about timelines. So if I were to read this, again, you're a Star Card podcast viewer, we're having fun, spending time together, comparing notes, the things that we know compared to what Breakaway Ray thinks he knows as we juggle two worlds, because this world's coming to an end. We're breaking away from the civilization we're in now. We've gained a lot of experience and knowledge, and now the time has come. We're all ready to go. Hey, Tarot World, thanks a lot for this wonderful message. I agree. This sounds like a vote of confidence, by the way, on my lesson plan for today. I'm going to give these another toss, and I'll come upstairs. But then I have a lot more to share because we just started the month of March, which I'm calling Sham Rock, where we're going to rock all the shams, okay? And we're going to deliver some truth, some Ace of Swords all the way around. That's what we're going to do this month. All right, check this out. I'm not going to come upstairs just yet. Look at this, everybody. All right, so in the 20th century, there used to be this thing called baseball cards. Okay, I think they still have baseball cards. I'm just not sure anyone, is aware of it or pursues it because we're all digital and everything, right? But anyway, here is a picture. His name is Rich Gossage. His nickname was the Goose. I guess that's the most clever thing that they could come up with his last name. But didn't matter. He was one of the most intimidating closers of all time. I remember him when he pitched for the Yankees. There were some New York Yankees that went out to the San Diego Padres. Mr. Gossage and also Craig Nettles, a great third baseman, robbed so many hits of batters in the World Series. So anyway, here's Rich Gossage. This is actually a folder. How about that? It's the glory of being a pack rat. Okay, and then check this out. It's designed like a baseball card. So on the back, we got all of Rich Gossage's stats. And you can see his stints with the Yankees. That's when I was familiar with him. He came from the Pirates, originally signed with the White Sox, finished his career with the Padres, I think. I don't know. And then check that out. This is from 1988, I think. So this is before I ever got hired as a teacher. Right after I got out of college, somehow I got a hold of this folder. Okay. So anyway, I want to share that with you, some baseball fans out there. Now check it out. I'm going through my old school stuff, and I totally forgot I had this. Now I know I shared a Halloween diorama that I had and a November Thanksgiving cornucopia diorama. I also shared one for December, which had Santa flying through the sky. There's another one in my file cabinet somewhere of a bunny with a bunch of eggs and a rainbow. But check this out. I totally forgot I had this one. I wish that I hadn't forgotten that I had this one because this is really cool. You see there's a little leprechaun on a pot of gold and there's a rainbow. And then my job would be to color in the scenery, cut out the shamrock shape in the middle and build the diorama. So guess what I get to do off camera? I'm not going to make you watch me color and cut out, but I guess I got some mandatory artwork to complete. Okay. And now let me show you why I may have lost track of this diorama. I got this little leprechaun guy. Originally, the leprechaun guy was this big, and we used to cut him out and hang it from our name tags, which hung it from the ceilings. I'm speaking about the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders in my class during my multi-decade career as an elementary school teacher. Well, eventually we switched to a smaller one for various reasons. It's not important, but check this out. I saved one that a student did. All right. So I still have this one, and he's going to be making an appearance here at StarCard for a little while. Thank you very much to that student. Good coloring job. I know I got to color that part in. Some tape, I guess, ripped off the color. I'll fix that. Don't worry. Looking good, Mr. Leprechaun. And then I'm just going to very quickly show you this. All right. So what was that? In elementary schools, sometimes we have, regular assemblies where the whole school gets together and, we commemorate holidays or things going on in the school. We share news, things like that. So anyway, I used to, teach my class the song, That's Amore. That's amore. The second word, amore, A-M-O-R-E, means love in Italian. And it was sung by Dean Martin. And as we were able to, use CDs in the classroom, and that's how old I am, right? I had a boom box, and we used to sing That's Amore, and I used to coach the kids on gesticulations, Italian style, as we went through the song. And it was very easy for the kids to remember the song and the words because it went right along with the gesticulations, the hand movements. And, after the audience would watch us, you'd often see the kids leaving the assembly doing the same thing and saying the words. It was all very easy for them to drink in and absorb. So what I have there is I have a speech, which you'll find in the book. You can barely see it. Wait a second. Where am I going here? There we go. There it is, everybody. Over my shoulder over there. There it is. This is listed in the description and the links. This is the Convoluted Autobiography. And I'm pretty sure I wrote that speech in that book. And I'm going to save it for a day later on in Shamrock, March 2026. Okay. So happy to share that. Let me move on to my next part of the show here. I'm checking my notes. If you're new to STARCARD podcast, I make notes so I don't go off on a tangent too much. All right. Have I got everything covered here? Good. Sorry about that. All right. So on with my presentation today. So today I'm going to be speaking about languages. And actually, this is something I have some experience in training in. I was an English lit major. I've also studied Spanish, Italian, and French, and I've even studied Middle English and Old English. So I have some facility and background information about languages. You compare notes with me, everybody. So out where I live, let's just say it's my zip code here in the United States. I'm trying to imagine other people in my zip code who have the same kind of understanding and learning in this department, and I'm guessing there can't be a lot of them. I'm not necessarily bragging rather, but I am saying it's rather specialized knowledge, and it may apply here. So I grew up speaking English in the United States, in particular New York. Throughout the United States, we have different dialects. Here in the United States, we call them accents, but they're really dialects, aren't they? You might have a Southern accent. You might have a New England accent. We're very familiar with the metropolis area of New Jersey and New York City. In that area, it's a very familiar sound when you hear someone from that region and their parochial accent. I'm not teasing. I'm not making fun. That's where I come from. I was born in the Bronx, and I grew up around that accent. I actually used to pronounce water like this, water, and I thought that was normal. And then I went to Buffalo, New York, where they were saying water. And they were really dragging out the arm. Well, what's the matter with these people? This is when I was younger. I didn't understand what was going on. I was very naive. All right. So anyway, moving on. This pronunciation that we have in the United States of English is actually worldwide, isn't it? There's a lot more people who are exposed to what we would call American English than maybe even British English. Okay. There's probably more people in the United States, 330 million. That's probably more than there are in Great Britain. And of course, here in the United States, here in California, we have Hollywood, we have the media, and, that's how this brand, this version of American English became global, became worldwide. So even if I'm trying to speak to someone in a southern state or a northern state or a province in Canada or anywhere around the planet, there's a good chance we're going to understand each other thanks to the very current, very recent flood of American English in all the media. I mean, a lot of people learn English from watching media, and that media may have been planned or designed or executed here in the United States. All right. Having said all that, I first want to share with you a story from my home country of Italy. I was not born in Italy. I was born in New York. But my family comes from Italy. My grandparents were born there, and my great-grandparents, and I presume all my other ancestors. There's actually a town in Italy, which, I like to make a joke. It's a small town in the mountains. It's called Castelvetere sul Calore. It's in the mountains of Campania, in the mountains near Naples, okay? And, it's a very mountainous region. So you have, for example, I used to tell the story to my students in the classroom because I'm going to use the words old world in quotation marks here. Old world means something different to me now, but I'm talking about the old world of Europe where, immigrants came from and came to America and settled, right? All right. So anyway, you have people in Castelvetere sul Calore in one mountain town, and the next nearby mountain town is Lioni, Lioni. Okay, now this is what my family told me when I visited Castelvetere in the 1990s. They said that our Italian's a little bit different. We're a little mountainous regions, and even that town, which you can see from here, Raimondo, okay, Lioni. It used to be that when one person from Lione would come talk to someone from Castelvetere, they couldn't understand each other, even though they were speaking Italian, because all their vocabulary words were different and all their, their jargon was different. So it was actually harder for these two people to speak to each other than it might be for people in Italy today. Because I presume that, the Roman Italian that's spread throughout Italy, probably based in the media, okay, it's probably much easier for Italian people to understand each other now when they go from town to town than maybe 70 years ago, for example, when media wasn't quite what it is today, right? All right. So speaking about all that, I'm going to try something. Okay. So the platform I'm on right now is YouTube, and I'm logged in with a Google address. Really don't like saying the brand names of these platforms, but anyway, I want to let everyone know what I'm doing. So I think that I can share a screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use technology wisely, prudently, and efficiently for the sake of comedy and education, because I discovered that you can teach yourself a language by, typing it into the browser and have it translate for you. You can even click a button and hear someone pronounce the words for you. And now, as I said, German is not one of my languages to begin with. So I apologize in advance if I butcher my pronunciation, but I'm going to click it 2 times. The person who speaks the German will speak it first in a normal way, and the second time that person says it in a slow down way so you can practice, okay? I have all my questions, as you imagine, all ready to go. I'm pretty good at typing quickly, so you'll get to see as I type the message in and click the button what it is I'm trying to say. The first set of questions are going to be as if I'm someone from the United States traveling abroad, and I mean off-world, okay? You'll have to tune in yesterday if you're trying to catch up with me here. My presumption is that there are already breakaway civilizations, many of which are breakaway German civilizations. And it's possible, so I believe, it's possible, I believe, that these space Germans are not only on the moon and on planet Mars, although I think their status may have changed in the last 10 years. That's certainly where they started, from what I understand. There are supposedly space Germans on Saturn's moon Titan, on planet Ceres, in Alpha Centauri, which is the next star system over by about 4.5 light years. There's a planet there called Centurion. It's a Dyson sphere. And then throughout the Pleiades, the constellation and star system we call the Pleiades, that seem to be like open prairie land, if you will. People in the United States who went to public school know what I'm talking about. The Pleiades is a stellar nursery where solar systems are just getting started. So it was like an open prairie in the 1800s where you can ride your covered wagon and inhabit and colonize new planets out there. So I'm drawing in a relationship between the space Germans and people we call the Pleiadians, who are bopping in and out of time, interacting with humans here on Earth. All right. Let's remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. And for sure, if the camera was off, I would be agreeing with you. Breakaway Ray, you are talking about 2 pretend people. You're talking about Pleiadians. Okay, that's like UFO stuff, dude. Okay, and now you're talking about space Germans. Nobody talks about space Germans. No, have you got your story straight? I thought you were a school teacher. You don't know how World War II ended. Okay, Come on, USA, USA. What's up with you, Breakaway Ray? Okay. And I would say to you, this is probably why you're tuning in to STARCARD podcast. I don't let anything inhibit my imagination. So I'm inviting you to follow my train of thought, just to give you something colorful to think about. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, while I'm at this, yeah, I didn't get to this part. Even in the 1940s, when the Antarctic Germans went off world, well, of course, it would be the same case as it was in Italy at that time, okay? German has many dialects. In fact, this is like a common expression you would use with some of these languages. You would say there's a version of High German, like whatever the ruling class spoke, okay? I know that in Spain, so I understand, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but in Spain, especially in the Northeast, in the Catalonia region, you know, we're all familiar with how they speak with a lisp. That's not true, of course, but we're just giving you an example. We're trying to help you understand what's going on. Instead of saying Barcelona, the way we would here in the United States, that C makes a TH sound, a fricative. Okay, you stick your tongue between your teeth like that. Barcelona sounds like you have a lisp. Now, I don't know if this story is true, but they say that, you know, everyone was speaking Spanish just fine, but they had a royal who had a lisp, and so everyone had to mimic that royal. And that's why up there in the Costa Brava region, okay, they have that little thing what they do with the C, Barcelona, for example. All right, so what I'm trying to say is I'm going to be learning German from a privately owned artificial intelligence and web browser. Okay, I'm not learning traditional German. I'm not trying to say that this is High German or German for the people. I'm not saying it's a peculiar language to a particular region. I'm just going right off the internet, very generic, very homogenized. It's the thought that counts, though. What do I want to translate? And the last thing I'll say about languages, have you ever heard the idea, hey, we're at STARCARD Podcast, we could talk about this, okay? After all, we were talking about the Anunnaki yesterday, all right? Okay, has anyone ever heard that Sumerian is like the base operating language of all humans, right? That's like our innate language. That's our operating system, Sumerian. I would love to explore that thought some other show. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, okay. So as I mentioned, I used to be a school teacher, and I'm not in the classroom anymore. I'm on a year's leave of absence. Again, not important, not today's subject. But when I was in the classroom and we had internet, I could show some really cool things. Like I could show how cool President John F. Kennedy was. I showed a couple of John F. Kennedy videos year after year once I had internet and a big screen to share with the class. I would show the one, well, it's funny I'm mentioning this on STARCARD. I showed the one where he was, I think it was a stadium down in Texas, and he was talking about, you know, we're going to go to the moon. That was the early 1960s, of course. Okay. That's a great speech. I loved showing the class, showing the young children that we had eloquent, well-educated, well-spoken leaders. It was wonderful. And then there was something else I showed. You know, again, John F. Kennedy, published author, very well educated. All right, you want to go down the other road, that's up to you right now. But right now I'm accentuating the positive about John F. Kennedy. He went to Berlin. This was back during the Cold War. I presume he was in West Berlin because, you know, at that time, Americans would not have been allowed in East Berlin. You know, it's the Cold War, Soviet Union versus the USA. So, but anyway, like President Reagan did later, okay, President Kennedy went to Berlin. Again, I presume West Berlin. And he tried his best to speak some German so he could identify with the German people there in Berlin. I don't know if I have this story correct, but I know everyone can look this up. You know, he tried to say, I am a Berliner, and he tried to say it in German. He may very well have said it correctly. That's very true. However, there was at least, maybe this is a Mandela effect, maybe this is my imagination again, but I'm telling you, there's another version of the story where he tried to say, I am a Berliner, but instead it came out something like, I am a jelly donut, or I am a pastry with jelly in it. And if you listen not only were the people in Berlin applauding him and his effort, okay, that's very special to have a president come speak to you, a president from the United States come to speak to you, the youngest president of all time at that time, right? That was very exciting, but there he is. He's trying his best to speak German, and he accidentally made a mistake, and you can hear there's like chuckles in the audience. That's what I remember from seeing the video. So again, hey, if John F. Kennedy can't get it straight, you'll forgive me as I try my best to move through the German off the computer. Okay. Oh, okay. So I think I'm ready, everybody. I've got some questions here. Yeah. As if I'm an American in an off-world German area. Okay. So this is actually a picture of me in real Germany in Bavaria. That would have been 40 years ago. Okay. So we're starting here. I'm an American abroad off planet. Here are some of the questions I'm going to type in. Okay. Or statements, questions and statements. Here I go. Good day, sir. Start off easy, right? I want to make sure I get this one in. Which way is it to the bathroom, please? All right. How much does the pretzel cost? I'm going to ask that. Okay. Where is the portal to Stanford University? Let's try that one. I'm going to type out 2 more after that. Okay. So I'll save those. And then I have a whole list. This comes next. I have a whole list of questions I'm going to ask as if I'm already living an off-world German life, a whole bunch of statements. So here's off-world German Breakaway Ray. Okay, you see the spaceship with the little gray alien up there. There's another planet in the sky. The Neuschwanstein castle is now like the Enterprise. It's got nacelles firing. Okay, all right, so we'll get to that part later, but here I go. Let me see if I can share my screen. If it doesn't work, and you don't see anything, we're still going to do the audio, okay? It just means you get to look at me more. All right, let's see what's going on here. How am I doing on time? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Let me get the first one typed up, everybody. Hey, can you hear the trash truck outside? Happy Monday, everybody. And let me see if I can do the share now. Hang on. Yeah, that's the one. That's what I want. I see it. Yeah, I think you can. Good. Oh, but my face is in the way, huh? Is my face in the way? Oh, it doesn't matter. Hang on. There we go. All right. So I typed in already, how do you say good day, sir? And it comes back, Guten Tag, sir. Okay, let's hear it.
Guten Tag, sir.
Okay. I thought it would be like Guten Tag, mein Herr, but let's hear it again.
Guten Tag, sir.
Okay, great. Let's try another one. Which way is it to the bathroom, please? Okay, so it looks like it says, Wo ist bitte der Weg zum Badezimmer? Let's hear what it really sounds like.
Wo ist bitte der Weg zum Badezimmer?
Could you say it again, please?
Wo ist bitte der Weg zum Badezimmer?
Der Weg zum Badezimmer. I'm trying my best, everybody. All right, next up. How much does a pretzel cost? Wie viel kostet die Brezel? I practiced this one.
Wie viel kostet die Brezel? Wie viel kostet die Brezel?
Okay, great. Next. Where is the portal to Stanford University? Where they do all the mind control experiments. Wo befindet sich das Portal zur Stanford University? Let's see.
Wo befindet sich das Portal zur Stanford University?
Oh, Portal. Okay, hear it again, please.
Wo befindet sich das Portal zur Stanford University?
Wo befindet sich das Portal zur Stanford University? Okay, let's do another one. Whoops. I do not consent to having my consciousness split. Ich stimme der Spaltung meines Bewusstseins nicht zu.
Ich stimme der Spaltung meines Bewusstseins nicht zu.
That was kind of close.
Ich stimme der Spaltung meines Bewusstseins nicht zu.
Bewusstsein nicht zu. Okay. And then I have one more as Breakaway Ray, someone from the United States traveling abroad off planet. Okay, here I go. And then we're going to switch. Do you have a high IQ or is that just black goo? Hast du einen hohen IQ oder ist das nur schwarzer Schleim?
Hast du einen hohen IQ oder ist das nur schwarzer Schleim?
IQ. Oh, okay. IQ. Try it again, please.
Hast du einen hohen IQ oder ist das nur schwarzer Schleim?
Schwarzer Schleim. Okay. Now, am I having too much fun? All right. We're changing Breakaway Rays now. Now it's off-world Breakaway Ray. He's already integrated into a German society. So I'm going to start with So everybody, longtime viewers know that I have this softball with the words plasma power on it. Off-world energy is a civil right. Everyone is provided one of these, a grapefruit-sized plasma power device, whether you're a slave, whether you're impoverished or anything. Off-world, we don't have to pay anything to our local utilities for power, okay? And we don't have to pay through the nose to pretend to get free power from the sun through a lease that costs more than an automobile. Anyway, I'm asking, hey, where is the grapefruit-sized plasma energy unit? It says, wo befindet sich die Grapefruit-große Plasma Energy Einheit? I know I can get that one right. Let's hear it.
Wo befindet sich die Grapefruit große Plasmaenergieeinheit?
Ooh, I was pretty close. Let's hear it again.
Wo befindet sich die Grapefruit große Plasmaenergieeinheit?
Energieeinheit. Oh, okay. Great. All right. Next up. What do I got now? I can't believe I wrote this one. All right. Off-world, they like to have fun as much as anybody. So again, this is off-world Breakaway Ray. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am hungover. Where are the med beds? Ich habe einen Kater. Wo sind die Krankenbetten? Oh, Krankenbetten? Krankenbetten. Let's try it.
Ich habe einen Kater. Wo sind die Krankenbetten? Ich habe einen Kater. Wo sind die Krankenbetten?
Ich habe einen Kater. Ah. Okay, good. What's next? Okay, so this one's going to sound gruesome, everybody. Sorry about that, but I'm just like summarizing something I heard on another podcast. So here I go. I have the brainstem of a beheaded French royal from the 1700s. Where is the cloning laboratory? Americans, laboratory. Oh, let's try it, Ray. Ich besitze den Hirnstamm eines enthaupteten französischen Königs aus dem... I can't do that one. Well, I'm just going to let the computer say it. I'll practice after the show.
Ich besitze den Hirnstamm eines enthaupteten französischen Königs aus dem 18. Jahrhundert. Wo befindet sich das Klonlabor?
Clone labor. Clone lab. You could see that word clone labor. Now imagine it like on a placard outside a doorway as you walk down the hall. You're, oh, here's the clone labor. The clone lab. Okay, let's see what's next. I think I have one. Yeah, I got two more, everybody. And then we're going to hear from the tarot cards. And then it'll be time for tarot for the audience. Okay, here I go. Again, as if I'm also an off-world German. That was funny how we won World War II and got a galaxy full of planets. Da war schon witzig, wie wir den Zweiten Weltkrieg gewonnen und eine Galaxie voller Planeten bekommen haben. I don't know if I got that right. I did practice this before the show.
Das war schon witzig, wie wir den Zweiten Weltkrieg gewonnen und eine Galaxie voller Planeten bekommen haben.
It sounds so pretty. Let's hear it one more time.
Das war schon witzig, wie wir den Zweiten Weltkrieg gewonnen und eine Galaxie voller Planeten bekommen haben.
How lovely. I want to thank the computer for the German lessons today. Here's my last one. I'm hanging out with off-world Germans. Okay, I'm having a conversation with them. I want to be able to say this also. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I was thinking something else while I was writing, which, by the way, goes back a couple of shows here about speaking out loud and writing things down so you focus your concentration. All right, so before I do this one, I just had another thought. Okay, let's do this one and get it out of the way here. I don't want to talk about the Draco either. It's like not a pleasant subject for off-world Germans, as far as I understand. I don't want to talk about the Draco either. Über den Draco mochte ich auch nicht reden. I don't know if I said that right. I didn't practice.
Über den Draco möchte ich auch nicht reden. Über den Draco möchte ich auch nicht reden.
Okay. So there we go. Some German phrases for Breakaway Ray, who plans to travel off planet. And now we're going to hear from the tarot world on those subjects I mentioned at the top of the show. Thanks for joining in, everybody. I think that's great that anyone cares about what's going on in my imagination. I hope you're having fun. I'm going to unshare. Good. I got it. Hang on. Please. All right. How am I doing on time? Oh, my shows are getting longer, even though I keep planning them to be shorter. Okay, and I have all my, here we go. Tarot for the audience standing by. All right. So how about we throw some Akashic piles, as I say, a few cards for each of these. You know, our awareness of the space Germans. how do the space Germans regard us on surface planet Earth? We'll just hear from the Terror World on that. And then, I'm going to remove the bookmarks. They're distracting me a little bit, but I think everyone knows how fond I am of that picture. But let's just focus on the words here, okay? So we're going to throw some cards to find out, what do space Germans mean to us, and what are we aware of them? What's our baseline? What are we building on, okay? How do they regard us? And then, eventually we're all going to be hanging out together, so let's get it together. Get ready to shake hands, everybody. I'm thinking of the movie. Oh, I can't remember the movie, but so if I remember the name of the movie or even the actor and actress in it, I'll mention it. But anyway, get ready to shake hands, everybody. We're going to break away with Breakaway Ray. I got the Robin Hood deck here. We're going to throw some cards. That's right. It's the King of Wands. I'd like to see the big picture, please. What do we know about space Germans? Are they the Pleiadians? How do they regard us in general? I know you have to be general about this, but you could definitely give us some tips about, reunification and integration with the off-world breakaways. Some people would say, if you even follow what I'm saying, hey, Breakaway Ray, you can't do that because remember the United States launched World War II in space, and that's what's going on. That's what Solar Warden was. The U.S. off-world is still at war with Germany. So how are we going to get it together? Well, I'd like to point out that over on planet Mars, they finally managed to end the Black Terror. They signed a treaty, okay? And there are a lot of good people. There are way more good people than troublemakers. And so there's a lot of diplomacy going on. We could start learning a little diplomacy down here. Here we go. Our awareness of the space Germans, how space Germans regard us currently, tips to reunify and integrate with the breakaways. Our awareness of the space Germans, their awareness of us, getting it together with them. Ooh, that card popped out. That's cool. Our awareness of the space Germans. Are they the Pleiadians? This goes for how space Germans regard us. They know there was no cobalt bomb, right? They know we're still here, right? And then reunification and integration. That's the future. Here we go. So all of us are aware of, our own understanding of what I'm calling space Germans right now, okay? So if these cards, resonate or ring a bell for us, then we know how to decode the rest of this. Here we go. Our awareness of the space Germans. Wow. Check that out. This is the Lover's card that I'm carefully covering up because I'm under the understanding that that's what I'm supposed to do. So we have the Lover's card, the very first card, everybody. We're going to talk about that for sure. We have the King of Pentacles, and we have the Four of Cups. So the first thing I want to say is when the Lover's card comes out, woo. All right, so when the Lover's card comes out, especially like at the beginning of a sentence, okay, and this is like the very first card we drew, this is a message to me, Breakaway Ray. It's not just like a message that you are receiving, but this is actually the spirit world sitting right here in the room with you, and we're delivering this information. And the information is, again, we're talking about our awareness of the space Germans. Are they out there? We didn't know they were there. We're busy looking at stuff here on Earth, on surface planet Earth, these three cups, but there's four cups. This is the Four of Cups card, okay? If we really think about it, okay, the idea of space Germans is not that far off. It could be right next to us, could be alongside us, another adjacent civilization, and we're not even paying attention to it. And the King of Pentacles indicates that this is a real world thing. Pentacles and coins and currency is a real thing. And a lot of that is based on money in the first place, right? The money system, the monetary system. So the Terror World is suggesting that, the breakaway civilization that I'm suggesting is out there. It's not so far away. All we need to do is turn around and look. And there's big money to be made and being made with that civilization. I mean, it's the whole point of it in lots of ways. I know that off-world Germans are particularly proud of how they've survived in space, and they should be. Those guys are bad to the bone, as George Thorogood would say. George Thorogood, leader of George Thorogood and the Destroyers. They should be very proud of it, but let's not make any mistake. you're propagating off-world Germans throughout the galaxy and beyond, but also you're working hand in hand with the real world when you're talking about making money. Okay, you only need to read Series Colony Cavalier and hear about Tony Rodrigues' experience with off-world Germans making money and trading with other civilizations, which is why the Three of Wands is so awesome, because there's so many opportunities. Tony Rodrigues has said this in many interviews. There are so many planets to trade with out there, billions and billions of them. Okay, and it doesn't take any time to go there because time travel is space travel. Okay, there's so much money to be made out there. It doesn't feel like that to us because we're struggling to put food on the table. I heard the worst news here in the United States. I'm going upstairs for this. It really wears me down when I hear information like this. For example, about 10 years ago when I was in the classroom, I was in the newspaper, 4 out of 10 children in the United States go to bed hungry. That is ridiculous. That is absurd. And then later on, that stat got updated a few years later. It was like worse. All right. That's another thing, we learned is that, about half of the people in the United States of America, these are the stats that I get, everybody in my news. Okay. I know we have a worldwide audience. At least half of the United States people, they live paycheck to paycheck, no savings, no promise of the future, no security, and virtually no social safety net, as that they keep trying to pull that out from underneath us, even though we're all paying taxes for it. Anyway, very discouraging. That's no way to live. There's an abundance for everybody. All right, we're going to go back downstairs now. So I've given some clues, like the off-world Germans believe that Earth is uninhabitable. A lot of them are not aware of it. There's a lot of people in the secret space program, and the secret space program is so secret that they don't even know they're in a secret space program. They might just believe that they're like on a planet like Earth, and they're just going about their lives, working in the colony. Anyway, how do space Germans regard us here on Earth? Wow. Well, first of all, I got the outer space card here. That's the 8 of Wands. Okay. I'm going to say that how do they regard us on Earth? Well, they traveled to space to get away from us. It was disappointing for them. Even though World War II didn't turn out with the conquest of planet Earth, the 5 of Cups is the disappointment card. Okay. Guess what? They still picked up the 2 cups that were good and they went off planet. And even though it's a rough road out there, the 9 of Wands shows us, and they're bedraggled and worn down a little bit, they sure have a lot of wands now. They have a reach throughout our galaxy. So I would say that they're barely thinking of us. I mean, it was a historical beginning, but look at where they are now. Look at all those wands. All right. I like how these messages are coming out, of course. Confirmation bias, breakaway Ray, maybe. Okay, the 3 of Wands, it's the expansion card. That includes expanding your consciousness. You could see him looking out at the ships in the distance. Look up in the sky and see the spaceships, everybody. They're out there. You could see them with the naked eye if you want to. Use your heart to see them. The 3 of Wands also says luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So I'm glad you're tuning in to STARCARD podcast and letting Breakaway Ray dump all this information into your brain. Okay, you're going to be prepared because everyone else keeps saying like even 2026 is going to be the year where we're going to have like much, much more disclosure. And if you're thinking about it, it's probably going to happen sooner than we think, right? More people asking for disclosure, what's going on off planet. Therefore, the universe is going to send those energies our way. What's the rest of the message? Wow. Hey, it's the 4 of Wands. It's the homecoming card. It's the celebration card. We do not need to have fear, period. We don't need to be scared, period, okay? And we don't have to worry about space Germans, okay? Those people are just like us, except, more genetically superior and more intelligent, more technologically and spiritually advanced, okay? But they're just like us, okay? And so we're going to be making a bunch of new friends. It'll be a homecoming. They can come home and we can go out and visit their home. The moon card seems to suggest traveling to the moon, going off planet. It also talks about illusion and mystery, and this card makes it look like we're seeing through it. So we need to start by seeing through the illusion and the mystery if we want to reunify with our friends, humans of all kinds, not just off-world Germans. How about all the off-world Americans? And there's off-worlders from so many countries around surface planet Earth. We have a lot of friends out there. Let's start looking around, everybody. All right. Thank you very much, Tarot World, for supporting me in this fun exercise about learning about off-world civilizations. I'm going to give these a toss, and now it's time for tarot for the audience. How am I doing on time? Oh, another long show, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Here we go. I'm going to come upstairs. I'm going to say hi to people in the chat. Then I'm going to pull out name tags. If you're new, I'm going to make a name tag for you. All right. And looks like we have a small crowd by my numbers, so don't worry. There's plenty of time to request a reading, everybody. I'm going to go up and go up to the top of the chat. It's a lot of writing. Let's see what's going on. Hi, Judy, Mrs. NW5. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Julia Anchor Haven. Thanks for making time out of your day to join us. Let's see. Hey, Art Life. All right. Good to see you, Art. Hi, LMAAB. Who else is out there? That's all I see so far. Hang on. Dirty Lightworker. Welcome back. I have name tags for all these people so far. Okay, so let me get those name tags out, okay? Hey, if anybody got a shamrock name tag, you got lucky because I ran out of shamrocks just about as soon as March rolled around. I got my old go-to here, the Schoolhouse. So I got Art Life. Yeah. I just made this one last week, I think. Dirty Light Worker. A longtime viewer, Julia Anchor Haven. Okay, I just went through all the schoolhouses, and then I have some Valentines left over from February. I think Judy's in there. Here you go, Judy. Of course, if you do not want a reading, now's a good time to type in all capital letters in the chat. No reading, thank you. That's fine with me also. You know, and give other people a chance. I know we have a small group today. I got some shamrocks now. I feel like there's somebody in there. Oh, I'm looking for Ellum. Did I get Art Life already? I did, right. There's Ellum. I'm not sure if I'm missing anyone, but if I am, please let me know in the chat. Plenty of time. Very happy to throw cards for everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. Okay, so let me show you who I got, and then I'm going to go through and see if there's particular requests. Okay, so I've got Shamrock from Ellum. She might have a particular request. Judy, sometimes she only asks for like 3 cards. Okay, Julia, a Dirty Light Worker, probably has a specific request. I'm going to go check it out. Art Life, always having a good time. All right, let's check it out. Salama. Hello, Salama. Thank you for your message. You're right. I missed you, Salama. Let me get your shamrock out. Very good. That's how you do it. There you are, Salama. I thought I made it. Shamrock for Salama. Yes, I did. Here we go. Yeah, you're welcome. Ellum, Judy, Salama, Art Life, Dirty Light Worker, Julia. Anybody else? Okay, now I'm going to go up. You know, the capital letters help in the chat. So if you have a request, it'll help me locate it. But I'm just going to scroll up real quick. I don't want to read the chat now. I'm going to read it after the show, okay? When I get to throwing some cards here. Let's see. Oh, no cards. Very good, Judy. Great to see you. Thanks. Oh, Antoine Bartolone. Going to the CTT group. Oh, I'm competing with Psychic Liz Cross. All right, Antoine or Anthony, have a good time. Good to see you. Safe Haven. Oh, I didn't see you there, Safe Haven. I got to try harder. Let me get you out there, Safe Haven. You're Schoolhouse. Got it. Am I missing someone else? I mean, I'm glad Anthony came by, but I didn't see a request. So since Anthony is at Psychic Liz Cross's show, I'm not actually going to read. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't want them to miss out. Oh, Danica's here. Danica Crabtree. I think you have a Schoolhouse. Or is it? Yeah, it might be a Schoolhouse. Here's Danica Crabtree. There you go, Danica. Okay, who else am I? Lost Soul cards for Art Life. Let me get that set up. Good. Okay, Safe Haven, general reading, I see. Dirty Light Worker, got your request. Nothing specific, general reading. Okay. Okay, Salama, there I see your, a reading for the week. Got it, Salama. Okay. Oh, the rear gunner is here. Hi, rear gunner. Let me get your shamrock out. You could stop me, but you know I like throwing cards for you because it's like throwing cards for me. There you go, rear gunner. Okay, so I just saw the rear gunner. A lot of information from Julia today. I hope everyone's enjoying what Julia shares. You know, she knows a lot about the stuff that I was talking about today. Dirty Light Worker, 27-year-old male. All right, Dirty Light Worker. That bit of information helps me. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your message, Dirty Light Worker. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I think I have all the readings I'm going to get. And in fact, because of the time, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line right now. So, hey, everybody, I did quality control. I checked a couple of times. These are the readings I'm going with. All right, I think I'm going to start off with Danica. And if Ellum is out there, Ellum, I know you're really good at the chat. So if you want to put your request in, you know, whatever your particular question is, I'll be ready for you. Now, let's go downstairs and throw some cards for Danica. Very good, Ellum. If you have a particular request, if you type it, I'll see it. Whoops, what's going on here? Sorry, everybody. I know. Everything's got to be perfect for Breakaway Ray. Oh, geez. Such a perfectionist. All right, we're going to start with Danica, though. I don't think Danica had a particular question. I'm happy to throw cards for her. We're going to go Robin Wood, Danica. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good to see everyone. I know I'm kind of surprised to be here, too. How many days in a row have I done this? It's getting to be a habit. That's the thing. You know, I go to bed thinking I'm not going to do a show. And then the next morning, the spirit world's, waking me up by the shoulders and putting ideas in my head. Anyway, this was a fun thing to do today. Here we go. These cards are for Danica Crabtree. Thank you, Danica, for your support. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. These cards are for Danica Crabtree. I think Danica's on the other side of the country from me. Danica Crabtree. Well, you're right here with me right now, Danica. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. All right. Here we go. Danica Crabtree. This is for entertainment purposes only. First up, the Eight of Wands indicates travel, indicates flight, indicates something's happening really soon. I'm going with the really soon thing. Something's coming in, Danica. Oh, yeah, the Page of Pentacles. Let's read about the Page of Pentacles. Look at this book. It's so cool. It's got the little cards picture in there and a message about the card. Let's look up the Page of Pentacles. And I have a magnifying glass right here. I mean, it is kind of small. Page of Pentacles, a youthful figure looking intently at the pentacle that hovers over his raised hands. I didn't realize that it was hovering. I thought it was just like artwork and it looked like it was hovering. No, the intention is that that pentacle hovers. The divinatory meanings include application, study, scholarship, and reflection. Another reading says news, messages, and the bringer thereof. It also includes rule and management. So pretty soon, some kind of message is coming in, or what was the other one again? Study, scholarship. Yeah, scholarship is a good one. You're being blessed to pursue this path. Maybe it's not money, okay, but you're being pushed energetically in a certain direction to pursue some kind of study. Yeah, have some kind of study. The Hangman. I think the study is the shadow self and reprogramming yourself neuro-linguistically, integrating more affirmations and prayer into your daily routine. Says Breakaway Ray, I'm just some guy on the internet, Danica. Wow. Well, that's because not only does the Ten of Swords say that the hard times are over, but it also says that, you've been through it and you know that there's a better way and you've already discovered it. You've already discovered the power of prayer and meditation, for example. You are ready to turn your programming, your neural programming upside down, even the stuff that we grew up with our whole life long, Danica. Some of it is kind of flimsy. And so guess what? All that pain is behind us now. All those hard times, all that bogusness, because the Queen of Wands says to remain courageous, determined, maintain a zest for life, and carpe diem, because the King of Wands says you understand the big picture and you overcome all obstacles. Congratulations, Danica. Great to have you on the team. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, Arwen. It's good that you came in today. I appreciate it. I think you see that I've already drawn the line, but if you stick, well, I don't want to get your hopes up. I think I'm sticking to my line. I'm not sure I'm offering any more readings after the ones I've already collected. I'm going to pull out for Ellen, but thank you so much for showing up, Arwen. It's great to see you. Thanks for those happy faces in the chat. Hello, Deb McLaughlin. Oh, Deb McLaughlin. Me and my boundaries. So I'm trying to establish a routine, everyone. When I've drawn the line in the chat, it means I'm not accepting any more tarot requests because I already have quite a handful, or maybe I'm running out on time. I expect to go another half an hour here. But I'm really happy to see Deb McLaughlin. I just saw your name tag a moment ago. And Arwen also. It's great to have you back. I hope you enjoy the show. If you enjoy tarot, that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm sorry, I don't think I can pull out your name tags to throw today. I've already drawn my line. Anyway, I'm going to go back downstairs now, and I'm going to take care of Ellen. Again, thank you for being here, Arwen. And thank you, Deb McLaughlin. Okay, so let's get Ellen out. Hey, wow. Thank you very much, Deb McLaughlin. I appreciate that message. And that sounds very exciting, that little retreat that you experienced. How wonderful. All right, so Ellen, I saw your message. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Ellen, I'm so glad that you come to me for your tarot requests. You really have taught me a lot with your special requests. And also, because it's my show, I'm going to go ahead and share what wisdom I've acquired from having zero experience with any of this. But I'm sure there's a lot of other life coaches out there who are credentialed and actually have the wherewithal to make a statement like this. If someone, this is just my opinion, if someone doesn't want to talk with me, why am I trying so hard? Okay. They've already shown me that they're missing out. They don't know what they're missing out on. I'm sorry about that. But there's obviously people out there who know my value and want to hang out with me. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and address your request. Will this person break the fast of communication, as it were, right? Let's go downstairs and find out. So we're going to look for a yes or no question. So I'm going to pull out the classic with words, because down here in the corner, not on that one, down here in the corner, sometimes it says yes or no or maybe. Okay. So it's a yes or no question. Is the silence going to be breaking? And then I'll throw a few cards to see if there's a detail, some color we can add to that response. It's all for entertainment purposes only. I sure am having fun. Thank you, Ellen, for your request. Of course, it's totally interesting. There's no way I would be able to get to do this when I turn off the camera in my regular day. I don't even want to tell people I throw tarot cards. All right. Anyway, Ellen, again, let's focus real quick here. Will the silence be broken between Ellen and this individual on her mind? Could you please give us a couple of details? Thank you, Tarot World. I said a couple. I drew 2 cards. I think that's all the flavor we need. Here we go, Ellen. First up, the King of Wands, which is the big picture. You're asking, a big picture question. But this card doesn't have a yes or a no answer on it. So the big picture, King of Wands, we might as well read it. The tarot cards, the Tarot World gave us these cards for a reason. Natural leader, big picture, visionary, entrepreneur, overcoming challenges, mature, career focused. Maybe, well, there's some terms in there that I think are important, but let's see what the last 2 cards are. The Queen of, the Queen of Pentacles. I shall read this to you. Okay. The Queen of Pentacles, nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. I want to go with the word practical, the term practical here. And the Sun card, I can't wait to read all the words on the Sun card. The Sun card, positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, all is well. So in response to your question, here's how the cards came out, Ellen. Will the communication be reopened? Well, the big picture is we got to be practical and everything's okay. The big picture is we have enough experience and maturity to understand that, being practical, everything's going to be okay. That's my message. But of course, everyone can interpret cards and what they see on the internet their own way. I'm so grateful, Ellen, that you requested the reading. I want to say good luck to you. There's got to be like a whole community of people waiting to talk to someone special like you. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. I appreciate your support. Thanks for those positive messages for Ellen. And now, hey, Salama, I think you asked for, was it the week or the month outlook? I'd like to scroll up and double check. Where did you go, Salama? Just a moment, please. Everybody, I just wanted to check one word in her message. If I can find her message again. A reading for the week. Got it. Oh, of course, it is Monday. Okay, great. Here we go. A reading for the week for Salama. Hey, Tarot World, I know you love this stuff. You're like a performer who can't wait to get out on stage. It is so much fun. All right, Tarot World, go get that mic. Salama's asking for a little forecast for her week, please. She's tuning in to STARCARD podcast. from the continent of Africa, I believe. Welcome to STARCARD Podcast, everyone, your intercontinental center for tarot card throwing. How about a week's forecast for Salama, please? What does Salama need to hear? Please show us what Salama needs to see. A week's forecast for Salama, please. That card just popped out. These cards are for Salama. The week. A week's forecast. This card wants to come out too? Okay. Here we go, Salama. It's all for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to turn it into something as positive as possible, starting right now with this card. Okay. We're walking away, but we look good doing it. Whatever we're walking away from, those 8 cups, they look beautiful. We put so much into the place that we were at. We made it better than the way we found it. And now we can be proud of what we did, and we can walk away from whatever that was. We might have to walk in the dark. We may not see where we're going. We may have only our intuition, the moonlight, to show us where to go, but we're putting on our best robe. We're taking our best staff, and we're taking a hike for good reason. We're done with those cups. That's the 8 of Cups card. All right, Salama. So I was thinking maybe it was going to be a Monday through Friday thing, but here's your message. So I believe this is my spin on it. Okay. Hey, Salama, here's your message for the week. The truth is, there's actually something we have to let go of, says the Devil card. This is the Ace of Swords. Let me start over. Okay. I'm going to get good at this. The Ace of Swords, the Devil card, the Hermit card, the 4 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. It has a happy ending. So Salama, here's your message for the week. Here comes the truth. Your message for the week. There's something we have to let go, and it's nothing in the physical world. And the Hermit card says, if you look inward, you know what it is. It might even be like, again, Salama, because I feel like we have something in common, I'm going to go to my own personal experience. It may even be resentment. Resentment is like the chain dragging us down. We wouldn't even be in this position if what happened to us didn't happen to us, right? But remember what I tried to share yesterday and on previous days. Things don't happen to us. They happen for us. The universe was releasing us from whatever that was, okay? So that we can follow our soul's path better. All 4 cups are right there. And if we meditate, we're going to find that the thing that we're looking for is right next to us. And not only that, Salama, I have full confidence, says the 3 of Cups, that you are going to find it and you are going to realize it. You're going to have an epiphany and it'll be worth celebrating. You may even share with friends. So, again, I'm Breakaway Ray. It's a positive, uplifting, inspiring message. It does require some inner reflection. And I agree with everybody that releasing emotions is a tough thing. I don't know if you've heard of the emotion code. Maybe you've already sorted those things out. Maybe you've already researched it. Anyway, this is my spin on the card, Salama. I'm wishing you the best, and I'm rooting for you every day. Thanks a lot, Salama. Thank you, Ellen. I got your message. Here we go. I'm going to give these cards a toss. And Safe Haven made a request. I think she said dealer's choice. It's a general reading. So it'll be my pleasure, Safe Haven, to throw these Ethereal Bloom cards. I love all the flowers in there. Here we go. These cards are for Safe Haven. Way to go, Tarot World. You know which cards to throw. You really do. I feel like you know what messages people need to hear, and thanks for helping me. I'm happy to be the delivery boy. Here we go. These cards are for Safe Haven. Star of her own video at StarCard Podcast. It makes me want to go back and look at it. Here we go, Safe Haven. Here's a message for you. A message for Safe Haven, please. These cards are for Safe Haven. I felt like flipping it over there, Safe Haven. We have the 10 of Wands. Talks about the end of a lot of work. And that seems to be the end of the message. Let's see what the rest of these cards have to say. First up, the Six of Swords. Whoa. The Six of Swords is you're being guided by a divine hand from rougher waters to calmer waters. Have faith. I hear the star card coming. Have faith and have hope. You're not alone. And you do have a mission. You do have more meaning than you think. You've probably accomplished a lot of work that you don't recognize. For you, it's probably just been rumination and, the way your mind has changed, rolling by month after month after month. But that's the spirit world helping you upgrade your consciousness. Did I just say the star card was on the way? Let's read about the star card. You're watching STARCARD Podcast. The Star Card. Hope and bright prospects in the future. I'm going to read from another book. I mean, this book is graphically attractive to look at, but I want to stay with the traditional meanings of the star card that I've been seeing so far. Here we go. The star card. You're watching STARCARD Podcast with Breakaway Ray. The star card. Hope and faith, a blending of the best of the past and present. Bright prospects, mastering the occult arts. Oh, there you are. An awareness of two worlds. The tarot world's not far off. Is it safe haven? Some kind of spiritual growth is going on. You're working hand in hand with your spirit guides. When you see your higher self, isn't it like the younger version of you from when you were in high school? Isn't that what you see? Okay, the Sun card, everything's going to be all right. Yo, hey, everybody, we better see like the Six of Wands. Safe Haven should be on parade right now. She is a star. The Sun card, everything's going to be all right. Let's read from the book. The Sun card, accomplishment, success, material happiness, a good marriage, pleasure, joy, liberation, freedom, and contentment. Everything seems groovy when you're working with God, or better yet, working for God. Well, don't forget we are God, each of us. Everything's going to be all right. And the King of Wands says that's the big picture. Wow, Safe Haven. This is like progress of your spiritual growth. You've accomplished a lot. And the Ace of Swords says that's the truth. Ole. Thanks for joining us, Safe Haven. I love having people like you in my crowd. You people have a high vibration. Way to go, Safe Haven. I appreciate you inviting me to read. You are welcome. Thank you, Safe Haven. Okay, hey, Art Life. Let's go right to the Lost Soul deck. I think that's the one that you asked for. Art Life. Excellent. I just drew an Ace of Wands for you and the Justice card as I'm getting ready to shuffle. There's magic in the air and it's righteous. We're talking good magic. Here we go. Tarot World. Do you want to talk about Art Life and his good magic? Is he manifesting and making things happen? You don't really need a wand. I mean, Dumbledore doesn't always need his wand. Anyway, let's talk about Art Life's magic. What's going on with Art Life's magic? I mean, as long as you're in the mood, Tarot World, to talk about the spiritual world and these individuals with their hidden powers, what's going on with Art Life's magic? Let's go 3 on the bottom. A message about Art Life's magic, please. All right. Yeah, you like that little magical hologram action going on? I got no electric lights going on except for my ornamental tree behind me. This is daylight glimmering off the backs of these cards, Art Life. First up, it's the Knight of Pentacles. He's a good worker. He cultivates things over the long haul. You want him in your company. He will never betray you. Loyal, dedicated. And the Devil card shows up, asking us to let go of something. There's a star above his head. I know you'll say it's a pentagram, but I want to say with a star, makes me feel inspired. Face your dark side, your shadow self, and get ready to let something go. I mean, if you're a Knight of Pentacles and you are cultivating a field, you got to get out there and weed that garden every day. Okay. The Ace of Wands. Yeah, we're talking about your magic. You want to make your magic more positive. I guess it means you have to focus your intention better. Don't let shadows cloud your intention. So when you're creating magic, you might want to start by writing it out. I know I'm saying the word like sentence, like write it in a journal. I mean, we hear so many stories about how manifestation works and how writing things down really help. But yeah, you don't need the extraneous, busy, clutter. You want to streamline your energy. You can do it. I'm inviting you. Maybe you want to start writing it down. And then, of course, when you're writing it down, you're only focusing on the positive thing there, Art. You're not focusing on whatever, you need to let go of. And so the Four of Swords indicates that that's what you do when you meditate. Great. You have the Queen of Wands. Enjoy yourself. Have a zest for life. Be courageous. Be determined. Be audacious. Are you magical? Yeah, you are magical. Give it a try. Enjoy yourself. This is what you came here for. Okay. And then the Eight of Pentacles is a lot like the Knight of Pentacles guy over here. The Eight of Pentacles says you're doing repetitive tasks. You're building up a skill and you're showing discipline and you're doing it on a daily basis. And finally, the Six of Cups says that there's happy memories involved. So you're on your way to a golden era as you focus on your magical creations. It's all about your imagination, Art Life. You can put boundaries and parameters on your imagination by writing it down, writing a story. Have fun writing a story. If you're having fun writing it, the spirit world's going to have a fun time reading it. Art Life, thanks for being here. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for inviting me to read. Here we go. Let me give these a toss. And I got the rear gunner standing by. Hi, rear gunner. Oh, wait. Where is that guy? Yeah, and in honor of our friend, the rear gunner, in case people didn't see it yet, I have a student craft here. I want to thank that student for creating that. It was buried in my file. Here we go, rear gunner. All right. How about a fun, inspirational message from our friend, the rear gunner, please? Thank you, Tarot World. Over on the Emerald Isle, these cards are for the rear gunner, who's already had many exciting, dramatic readings. Oh, they were a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. A few cards for the rear gunner. Here we go. Here we go, rear gunner. Oh, yeah, wait. Hang on a second. Does it look good? Wait a minute. I want you to, hang on. So you can get your screenshot so you can show your friends. Okay, now let's flip the cards. The Five of Cups, the disappointment card. But, rear gunner, I'm pretty sure we've already talked about this. Five of Cups. A couple of cups spilled over. We still got good cups. Okay. We'll make do with what we got. We're going to turn it into magic. The Death card. Endings, beginnings, transformations. How cool is that card? A skeleton that's still dressed. He's got like some kind of cloak on. Cool deal. Then the Ace of Cups. Of course, when there's endings and new beginnings, there's an Ace of Cups. It's a new life. Your cup runneth over. Wow. And then the Ten of Wands, sometimes it talks about, there's a lot of work and it's a burden. It talks about the completion of work. But when I read these cards for you, rear gunner, you know what? Maybe there was some kind of disappointment in the past. Who cares? It's all over because now you got a new life and you got a brand new project to work on. Go for it, rear gunner. Do that little dance. All right, great. Thank you, Tarot World. That was fun. Yeah, you're welcome, rear gunner. I appreciate your message. I'm going to give these a toss. Looks like I have 2 more readings left, and that's perfect for the time I have today. Next, it's Dirty Light Worker. Oh, looks like I'm saving Julia for the end. I'm sorry to make you wait, Julia. But just check the name tag in case you have to check the recording later. I don't know who's in the audience. All right, but two more. Dirty Light Worker. I really appreciated your message, Dirty Light Worker. I'm going to throw the Robin Wood cards for you here. Want to wish you a lot of luck. I guess we're on the same coast. That's a cool deal. And, oh, yeah, I think I'm at least twice your age. All right, Dirty Light Worker. You know what? That Three of Cups is a celebration card, Dirty Light Worker. I'm leaving this out here for both of us and everyone else in the chat. We're all having a good time. Hey, these cards are for the Dirty Light Worker. Something tells me you're interested in this secret space program, some of that stuff that I talk about. So I'm going to throw a couple of cards just for that right over here. Secret space program for Dirty Light Worker. All right, special reading for Dirty Light Worker. Here we go. We're already celebrating together. We're all hanging out together. The Hermit. Not a surprise. Dirty Light Worker knows all the actions on the inside. Wow. And the Queen of Cups. Let's read about the Queen of Cups. Here we go. The Queen of Cups. A soft, nurturing mother figure, perhaps too protective, kind, but not energetic, will help if it's not all too taxing. Good night. I beg your pardon. Good insight, love, and gentleness. It's like, and according to this book, the Robin Wood book that goes along with this deck, it's like a mom figure. But it's not mom who is anxious for Parent of the Year award. She is resting on her laurels a little bit, okay? She doesn't need to get up. But I like the Queen of Cups when we talk about intuition and being sensitive to others and being empathic. And I think that's what's going on here with the Hermit card, okay? Maybe you can't help. Or are you one of those empaths that feels everybody's vibrations? Maybe you don't like crowds so much. Even walking down the street, you feel the vibration of the car and the person inside of it. I mean, I guess I'm sharing what's going on with me. But anyway, let's continue with the other cards in the sentence. Hey, Dirty Light Worker, are you looking inward? Is your intuition and your empathy expanding? Well, keep going because you've got control of your light and your dark, Dirty Light Worker. Okay, the Chariot says you're making good progress, and it's going to lead to happiness and cooperation between generations, maybe between you and your spirit world, maybe between you and everyone else around you. People would say this is spooky stuff, the paranormal stuff, but no, this is like your bread and butter. This is what's going to work for you. So keep on pursuing whatever makes you feel good. Is it the Secret Space Program? Yo! Yes, it's the Secret Space Program. That's your Ace of Pentacles, dude. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It's your destiny. Wow, that was fun, Dirty Light Worker. Wow, Tarot World. Thanks for brightening Dirty Light Workers Day. That was cool. Yeah, you are welcome, Dirty Light Worker. Thank you very much. All right, and now finally, Julia. Yay, Julia. We had a lot of fun with the Lost Soul deck today. Let's close with the Lost Soul deck. Good time to close too. Am I really doing 90-minute shows? That's incredible. All right, Tarot World. These cards are for Julia. Thanks for tuning in, Julia. Again, I know you're a busy person. That's so kind of you to make time for STARCARD podcast. You really liven up the chat. Thanks for sharing all that information with everybody. Here we go. These cards are for Julia. Please show us what Julia needs to see. Please tell us what Julia needs to hear. Thanks for inviting me to read. Here we go. The 10 of Swords. It's the end of a painful episode. Great, then let's move on from there. The Emperor. As I may have suggested yesterday, guess who's in control, Julia? The Two of Cups. Are you leading more than one life? You've got multiple priorities. I'm echoing something I saw you write in the chat. And The 10 of Cups. It's a dream come true. This is great. This is totally blank slate action. 10 of Swords. End of a painful episode. Don't even look at it anymore. Who cares? We're paying attention to today. That's what we have control over. You may be juggling life as a podcaster and a responsible family member, but when you step back and you float above it in an astral way, what a dream come true that you lead such a rich life. Think about all the experiences you've gained just in the last couple of years through your interactions with people on the internet. So again, it's a dream come true. I don't know what this card was anymore. It just looks cool on the back. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm totally in control. I got 2 hands. I can make my own sandwiches, and I can help other people, and I can still pursue things that interest me. It's a dream come true, this life. And so the last message is the 9 of Wands. You know what we gain through experience. We become stronger. We learn how to focus our energies better. I'm going to tease myself and say that's enough platitudes, Breakaway Ray. Julia, thanks for inviting me to read and for tuning in. Hey, everybody. What a great day. You made my day. Thank you so much for making my day. My name is Breakaway Ray. Now get out there and make your own day. I'll see you next time on STARCARD Podcast. Great show, everybody. Thanks a lot. All right. Catch you next time.